Okay. Oh shit. Well, the last video I skirted around Arbroath, and this time I'm gonna do a bit more of a discovery of the internals of Arbroath. This is Seaton Road, must be one of the longest roads in Arbroath. Takes you from the outskirts where I was and takes you from the outskirts and basically down into the centre of the town, as you will see. I'm going to be nice in this video. No, say things like, that's a shit car wash, etc. Which it was. The time I used it, I was not impressed at all. And so I never used it again. Just my opinion, as I said. Oh, God. So here we are, heading into the beating heart of Arbroath. It's a nice day. Let's go straight on here, down to the fit of the tune as explained in the last video. Yeah, I can't. Couldn't remember if I could go straight ahead here or no, but I can't. The one-way system here. So, if there was smell of vision just now, I could just smell smoke, smokies being made. Beautiful. This is the high street. Bottom of the high street. You can only go so far, and there's a pedestrianised bit. There we go. That means it's a courthouse there. Have to get and pay a speeding fine. No, in the Honda, it was in the car. I know what this guy's doing. So that was as far as the Kirk Square we just passed. Up ahead is the Arbroath Abbey. Well, once upon a time, the signing of the Declaration of Scottish Independence was carried out. We head into the harbour. First gear's a bit of a jerk. You stay there. Oh, aye. Well done. So Arbroath Harbour in all its glory. Oh, we've got scallop boats. The working harbour. Local creel boats, etc. It's the entrance to the harbour there. Ooh. This bit's just basically a marina. The Arbroath fishing fleet. Well, I could tell you this for a fact. Well, I can't think of the word. Respect, that's it. Respected throughout, Scotland's fishing fleets. I worked as a fishery officer for almost 30 years, and I was based in Shetland twice, Aberdeen, Skye, Eyemouth, and I met many of the older fishermen from the likes of Fraserburgh, Peterhead, the big fleets, big whitefish fleets, and none absolute respect for Arbroath fishermen, not only for their skills, but for how clean and well kept their boats were. I mean, you went aboard some of these brochers and, you were dirtier when you came off. Some of them were a disgrace. I mean, I was a fisherman for a few years, and I could tell you we wouldn't have gotten away with that. You spent your Fridays cleaning the boat, every bit of it. And that was a tradition that was obviously carried forward many years before I was a fisherman, but anyway, unfortunately, as a whitefish fleet, definitely it's no more in Arbroath. Prawns, creels, prawn trawlers, creel boats, scallops. It's a shame. A couple of decommissioning schemes took out a lot of boats. Some skippers didn't see a future with a CFP, Common Fisheries Policy, and decided to get out. Took their money, probably quite rightly so for some of them. I don't know where I'm going. Oh, nice new road surface. Saw on this road the other day. This is the west way. Yeah, many stories I could tell about my days as a fishery officer, then senior fishery officer running my own district. And a lot of the guys you met were, and worked with, I'm talking about, decent enough. You had your university graduate crowd that they were encouraged to take up jobs with us. When I joined, it was ex-fishermen and the likes that or had some kind of history in the fishing industry, be it processing, fishing or what. But then the SFPA at the time decided to employ graduates, and most of them came with their marine biology degrees. Couldn't tell a haddock for a place, but never mind, they had a degree. And they thought they were better than most of us that didn't have degrees. So there's a few. They didn't have the right attitude. They didn't realise. I had a history of working in this industry for a lot of years before I took up the job, and they didn't realise. They just seen them as fishermen, or they're breaking the law, or trying to break the law. No, they were trying to survive, trying to make ends meet. Okay, there was some that got a bit greedy, blackfish-wise. But most fishermen, they're businessmen. Their boat is a business. Stop here. Yeah, so I try to get that through their skulls. Some understood, a lot didn't. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, but very interesting times being a fishery officer. When I started in Shetland, 1990, the big thing at the time was Russians, Dutch, Poles, etc. arrived with their big factory ships for the herring and mackerel seasons, so summer and winter. And our job was to go out. We licensed the Russians, so we had to go out to their ships with their licenses and check their paperwork, etc., etc. They couldn't take fish until we had licensed them. So a lot of the captains of the Russian ships would be very hospitable. It would start with a cup of coffee. Would you like coffee? Oh yeah, that'd be fine. Of course, it was in the middle of winter and you'd going out there in a semi-rigid inflatable like I said, I don't know where I'm going. I'm just driving along and yakking. So you're, gladly take a cup of coffee, which was black. I mean, as black as as strong as you could imagine. And I wasn't a fan of strong coffee, but I drank it. And some of them would offer you a drink. And out came the vodka, or brandy if you were lucky, and well, on a few occasions things got out of hand. One time in particular, I was out there with my boss, and we're going through the coffee, we're on the vodka, so the first bottle of vodka arrives on the table, straight from the freezer, and a wee, what I would call a shot glass was placed in front of you, filled up with vodka, and they toasted with Nostrovia, cheers, sort of thing, and you're expected just to knock it back. They knocked it back in a winner, so you did the same, or I did the same. Well, that was nice, and of course my boss, he shoved his drink across the table to me. He wasn't going to be drinking, and so I drank his. Then the next drink, so on and so on. This time we're on our second bottle. There was myself, the captain, a guy that was referred to as the technologue. He dealt with paperwork, etc. And there was a second officer who was gay and took a fancy to my boss, which was hilarious. And let's say we're on our second bottle, and I felt okay. I thought I was getting fine. My boss kept pushing his drink every time. The poor time I drank every time. He went, no, and then he pushed it across to me. So I just drank it. And this time the second officer was having a great time, and his hand on my boss's knee. And then he decided that I'd put on some music, so on went the music, gypsy music. Well, we will dance. And I was like, well, I'm not dancing with you, so. But now he was wanting my boss up to dance, and because the boss stood up and went, right, we're going now. And I was thinking to myself, I'm enjoying myself here. We're on the third bottle of vodka by this time. I mean, this is true. This is facts. No son is exaggerated or made up. And let's say third bottle of vodka. The captain, he was acting up because I asked him. I was a bit drunk this time, and I asked him something about Gorbachev or something like that, and he pulls out his card. He says, "We communist. I am communist. Why do you ask me this?" I thought, right, I better not ask any more about that. And of course, this second officer was still trying to get my boss up to dance, and he sat down beside him and gave him a wee peck on the cheek. And that was it. He goes, right, Kevin, we're going now. Get. Because we had to put our survival suits on again. Now, move. So I stayed up, and I remember walking up. I mean, the captains, these are big ships, so by the time you're in the captain's quarters, I mean, you're high up. And I remember we walked out from the kind of bridge area, and that was it. I mean, the fresh air must have just hit me. The last thing I remember saying was to this gay second officer, we want But do you? No, I said, do you have brandy? Oh no, I don't. No. I says, you get brandy now, or we will take your license away. My boss is getting nuts this time, and he goes. I says, 2 bottles. I says, you want any as well? To my boss, because I was drunk. Somehow I negotiated getting down the stairs, getting down the ramp at the back on their dodgy makeshift ladders into a semi-rigid inflatable and back to shore into the office. And I say the big boss, who was on a day off, he unexpectedly arrived, and of course my boss, I remember him, one of the things I remembered was, get him out of here, like that was me. So I got dragged into toilets and told to wait, they were right, we'll come back when he's away. So next thing I remember, I fell asleep. I did. Fell asleep and they were kicking the door and what have you. And then I drove 26 miles home at the end of that shift. Absolute nuts. It was great times. I just decided to come out in the country while I was yapping. This road could take you to a village called Freakham, or a village called Colliston. Might get to Colliston and get a chance on the main road. I can't do 60 mile an hour on this thing, but there's not too much main kind of road, and then we're in a 40 mile an hour limit. So hopefully the roads aren't busy. This is on our way to Colliston. I don't know if you can see that sky looks great, like the clouds. Another place. Colliston's about 4 miles from Arbroath. I was going to be taking my big bike out today, the V-Star, but when I try to start it, I think the starter clutch blew, which is an absolute pain in the ass. So, no big bike today, probably for a while until that gets fixed. I was actually thinking of trading the big bike in for a Royal Enfield Interceptor. I just really fancy that bike. Good old fashioned style. great reviews they're getting. It's only a 650cc, but they're getting almost rave reviews. So I'm going to see if I could either trade the V-Star in, or sell the V-Star and then buy the Enfield Interceptor. I mean, this Honda, it's styled on the old C50, C90, so why not have another kind of vintagey kind of bike? Modern vintage, as I say. Shit, what's going on here? So this is Colliston. Just a row of houses, church. I reckon there's still a pub here or no. Used to be the Chance Inn. Absolutely nothing there. No lost them. Yeah, I think the cops hit this place, speed cops, hit it so hard at one point that to make everybody slow down. I think that was our pub in there, and I think that's where they set their traps, and as a result basically everybody slows down to 30 when they're getting through here. That's a start, that fence there, perimeter fence of the Condor, Royal Marine Base. This will be the old entrance. Get overtaken here. Beautiful day. And 40 mile an hour. One of the pleasures of riding a bike of any description, push bike, motorbike, scooter, is you're breathing in lovely fresh air. A lot of the time there's very pleasant smells, most of the time, and yeah, get a nice warm jacket and pair of trousers and that is no problem. We'll make it possible. Back down this road again. God knows what the sound will be like, because I moved my sort of chin bit. Anyway, that was up against the mic. Now I think probably my mouth's up against the mic. And, well, might be a bit rough, the sound today. I'll go along here, another wee detour. Busy wee junction this. So heading along here to the Capty Pond. Right behind. High school must be it. Capty Pond, or the Pondy as it's known locally. Been, well, there's a lot of local volunteers trying their very best to clean the pond out. It's just a stagnant mess for a long, long time. Now they've got a well opened up, they've got fresh water pumping in all the time, so they're clearing the weeds. Some would argue that, I mean, it's an area a wee bit worth visiting, Arbroath, and some would argue that the council should be footing the bill. I'm not sure if they help fund it or no. The local infirmary, that's basically half closed down now. I was away from Arbroath, like when I was working as a fisher officer. I was away. I wasn't in Arbroath for about 30 years, sorry. 30 years I was away, so I missed a lot. I don't know why I changed doing it the first there, but never mind, I did. I could put a few miles on the bike. New school, it's probably the newest primary school in Arbroath. This is the internal relief road, as it was called. Basically knocked down a lot of great old houses and great old places just to put this road through Arbroath. Somebody's dog barking at me, I don't blame them. Slow. Steaming up. Anyway, I'm getting up and doing the same roads. I think I'll turn the camera off and try and get a more interesting run the next time. So I could reach the button.